Hi guys, it's Jillian and welcome back to my channel. I am a relationship, spiritual and business energetics coach and intuitive reader and healer. I know that's a mouthful, but it is what it is. On my channel, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, past lives, energy, frequency and vibration, and everything in between. So if that's your jam and you want to see more, then click the subscribe button to be notified of my next videos. And if you like this, then press the like button and comment, say hi, introduce yourself. I would love to know who is actually watching these. So today we are going to talk about the twin flame catalyst, or the soul connection catalyst, or soul catalyst connection. Whatever the title, we're going to speak about it today. Now, a lot of the work that I do with my clients is helping them to understand themselves better as a multidimensional soul, to understand their lessons, their bigger picture, why they are here, and to integrate those lessons into their life so they can develop a deeper level of self-love, self-awareness, and self-worth. And no better place that we can do that is through our relationships, especially our intimate and romantic relationships, because they just have a whole other level of entanglement energetically and emotionally and mentally than a lot of the other relationships in our life, albeit many of the other relationships, our friends, our family, our colleagues. Any relationship can absolutely be a huge catalyst for our growth. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is what is a twin flame catalyst or a soul catalyst connection. That is the person that you probably think is your twin flame. They come in and are vibrating at a very similar energetic than your real soulmate, your real twin flame, the person you're meant to be with. And it can get really confusing because there can be so many signs and synchronicities that lead you to believe that this person is your actual twin flame when they are. They are just here to trigger you, to catalyze you for growth. Now, a catalytic twin flame is different than a karmic twin flame, because a karmic usually involves dealing with a lot of past life karma and can actually be really toxic and abusive, whereas the catalyzing twin flame isn't that. This is the person that is ultimately preparing you for your real twin flame, but also catalyzing you for soul and spiritual growth, because they are part of your soul group. And you have come into this life together with an agreement that was agreed when you're incarnating into this life to be a catalyst for each other's growth. And whether you had planned to come in at a certain time or your mission is activated energetically depending where you are within your own journey, and we have choice, right? So although we might plan something, we as a human have choice of what direction we want to go. So I believe that this soul catalytic connection comes in when we need that push, that propellant, that kick up the ass that we need for our evolution. And that was certainly the case for me. I find that these connections can come in, and as I said, they appear very like your actual twin flame, because there's so many signs and synchronicities between you two, from potentially looking like each other to similar dates, and just weird signs that are like, oh, whoa, this is interesting. Is this my person? But they're not. For this person, usually is as I said, part of your soul group, and you've experienced past lives with them. So it can be really interesting. You might feel an automatic like connection, like you know them from somewhere else. It is just like an instant knowing of each other and a recognition from each other, because you have lived in other past lives, or you're part of the same soul group. So there's usually this instant connection that is a bit weird. And with mine, for example, the first thing we spoke about was past lives, because they were told something about an ex raising something about a past life with them. And then obviously through the time that we spent together, I had picked up on 2 past lives that we had together that actually had a very similar theme. So I know from doing my own inner work and tuning in that this person had agreed to come in to ultimately kind of replay that theme, but also to propel me to my purpose. And that is where I see these catalytic twin flames. It's either when we're feeling stuck in some way, or we're feeling stagnant, or we just need that extra push to really jump onto our soul path, or onto understanding our own issues, our own wounds, our own triggers, back to a place of self-love, so that we are preparing ourselves for our true twin flame connection. And we can only do that when we have come to a place of understanding, self-awareness, healing of our own stuff. And no better way to do that is when you are triggered from your catalyst twin flame, when all of those old traumas, old energetic residues from unexpressed negative emotions to limiting beliefs to ancestral karma rear their head in this relationship. And it could be within this relationship, potentially as one starts to back away from the other, or actually at the end of the relationship, how it ends, or just all the self-reflection that generally has an opportunity to come up after the end of usually this short-lived relationship. And I see these catalyst twin flame relationships generally being about 3 months, no more than 6 months. They are not meant to be here for the long term. They are here to just catalyze you for your own soul's growth, to learn the lessons that you need to move up that ladder of your purpose, your journey, or your ascension. Some of the signs that you have met, or you're with your catalytic twin flame, is a deep telepathic connection. Now, this can happen when you're together, but also after you're apart. And most couples, especially if they've been intimate with each other, they will still have energetic cords and bonds and connections unless they have been cleared by yourself or by a trained energy healer that specializes in that. You will still have energetic cords, so you are continuing to pass information between each other even if you're not together, and this can feel like a real telepathic connection. You may also notice that you feel everything that they feel. Like, this could be different. Even if you are super intuitive, this could feel very different than your other experiences. And again, another reason that you might confuse these catalyst twin flames as your real twin flame, as your real soulmate. And another thing that I found is that you actually might have some parallels in terms of themes in your life, and you also may be at a similar kind of junction in your life where you have this decision to fulfill a purpose, or in between a crossroads of your life at some point, and you're both here to catalyze each other. Now, you have zero control over which direction they choose, because again, we have choice. We could stay stuck or we can ascend. And the only thing that you can focus on if you have been experiencing this type of relationship is how you can move forward and ascend by learning the lessons, understanding why this person came into your life, understanding where you needed to grow, understanding where your wounds and your old traumas are that were still left unhealed, that have come up to the surface for healing and transmutation. That is the only thing you can do, and that is the gift that this type of soul connection offers us, and it's a beautiful gift. Another sign that you may be with or have just experienced your catalyst soulmate connection is that you might actually feel drained of energy. Now, this is one that I don't hear often, but this is definitely what happened with me. You might have this intense connection, but somewhere in that you might feel drained of energy. Now, it could be through your dreams. So if you're sleeping next to that person, or even if you're not, they could be draining your energy in the astral realm, because we are all connected at every single level of consciousness, and our subconscious is wide open when we are asleep and in the astral realm. And especially if you've been intimate with someone, then you've already opened that gateway to all of your energetic fields, and they could be unknowingly siphoning off your life force and your energy. So feeling fatigued and drained when you wake up in the morning is a telltale sign. This can also come through being intimate with each other. If you wake up after being intimate with each other, or sleeping next to each other, or dreaming, and feel exhausted and fatigued in the morning and drained of your energy, and feel foggy emotionally, mentally, physically, on whatever level, this is also another sign that this is a catalytic soul connection. But as I said, there is a huge purpose for these connections coming online and coming into your life at the exact point that you needed. Because, for example, I had met mine a year ago, and I had chosen not to go explore that. And I explored another connection at the time, which was a huge growth piece for me too, until a year later, this person came back into my reality. And that was the perfect timing for me to meet that person for my catalytic growth, because that was the exact time that I was at a junction point in my life with my purpose. And this person, in reflection, not at the time when all the pain and the things come up when it doesn't work out, that experience led me to go so much deeper into my spirituality, into my self-worth, into my self-love journey, that it allowed me to realize that self-love and love was an internal job. And it wasn't focusing on one person. It was actually seeing the love all around me and within me. And that is one of the amazing, beautiful purposes that this type of relationship can bring in and have for us. It is catalyzing. It is for our self-worth, our self-love, our spiritual growth, propelling us into our purpose, and also preparing us for our true soulmate, as I said. It's like they're the practice run. So you may have got to practice certain things like open communication, authentic communication to an extent, and had gone through a lot of growth even within that short period. So within that relationship, there was growth, but also because of the ending of that, there was also growth. And as I said, this is the biggest opportunity for us to grow spiritually and personally within our lives, is when one of these relationships comes into our life. And this is a huge thing that I do with my clients, really helping them to understand the deeper lessons of all the relationships in their life, where the mirrors are, where the wounds are, where we're not taking accountability for ourselves and what we're manifesting it into our reality, and actually seeing ourselves as a bigger multidimensional soul with a hell of a lot of power. And then also helping them to be able to tune into energy, to be able to discern better who the real relationships are in our life. So if that sounds like you, then I would love to hear a comment below. Do you think you've met your catalytic soulmate connection, or have you actually found your twin flame? Let me know. I would love to know about your journey, or if you are struggling with repeating the same dynamics and patterns within your relationships. If you want to go deeper and develop a deeper sense of self and connection to self and intimacy, so that you can actually attract better relationships in all aspects of your life, then check out my website. I have a lot of different offerings of how you can work with me. how I can offer you intuitive guidance and coaching and support in all of these areas. And if you love this, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.